Hi everyone. My name is Jerry Wise. In this video, I want to talk about how the narcissistic parent denies the self of others. Basically, narcissists operate this way. If you're not me, you're nobody. If you're not me, you're nothing. And I think that's because of the narcissist's self-focus and self-absorbed nature. So how does this work for us and those who have grown up with narcissistic parents of all kinds? First of all, we have the difficulty of the extension syndrome or the extension reality. You are an extension of me. And for the narcissist, the world is an extension of them. And so if you notice, there's no sense of otherness in there. There's no self of others in this understanding. I am the major super self for everyone. If you're not me, you're nobody. And you need to be me. Think of me. Exist in a way I want you to exist. And so there's the extension syndrome. And we have grown up with that, which certainly can cause lots of problems for us as adults. Because we grew up thinking not of me, but how to manage this extension that I am of someone else. Number two, there's way too much emotional closeness with narcissists. And I think one of the big problems of trauma and abusive nature of parents or families is that it creates too much emotional closeness. When we have emotional closeness, it eats away at our reality. Because if you take two circles, here's me, here's you, and if we overlap and there's too much emotional closeness, then that eats away at my sense of self and reality. We don't have internal boundaries. They just mesh on into the narcissist or the narcissistic parent. And so the work we need to do is learn to be self-differentiated. I have connection while being myself. Now, I'm not saying we want overly connected relationships with narcissists. I'm saying with others in the world. We want to have some connectedness and a sense of self. That's self-differentiation. And this emotional closeness really does eat away at our reality. Number three, enmeshment always interferes with self and selfhood. It destroys self. It leaves no room for you to be a self if we have that enmeshment. Because if we have enmeshment like that, where's me? I'm just this glob, this clump. And I remember studying that many years ago, and it talked about the clumping of emotions and emotional process. That clumping which comes with narcissism. We are to be one big clump of a self. You be me. And that's what this clumping is. And it destroys self. It doesn't leave any room for self. And the more toxic the enmeshment, the stronger the enmeshment, the less self that we're going to have. And that's the nature of narcissistic abuse and narcissistic relationships. And number four, narcissists are the Death Eaters of the self. Those of you who've grown up with Harry Potter and have watched Harry Potter movies, you've probably seen the Death Eaters in there. And these are these awful, ugly-looking creatures who come and just suck the life out of and suck the self out of their victims. And so narcissists take on that role in society and in families. They are the Death Eaters they suck the self right out of us. And so that's why it's so important for us to do the work of self-differentiation and to heal in that way, to restore, find, and live through ourself, which has been so wounded, eaten away, destroyed, and having the life and reality, our own reality, sucked out of us. And so we want to do the work of self-differentiation. Down below in the description, you'll find a program that I offer, which is Your New Road to Self, which is to counter these kinds of things that we've experienced from our dysfunctional family. What we want to do is do self-work, self-love, self-awareness, and then eventually self-regulation. Inner Bonding by Margaret Paul is another good book that I recommend to people to begin to connect with themselves. We want to secondly learn systems thinking, because I think if you use non-systems thinking or individualistic thinking, you're going to miss a lot of the dynamics that have wounded and has extracted yourself from you. Growing Yourself Up by Jenny Brown, Harriet Lerner books, The Dance of Anger, The Dance of Intimacy, they all talk about systems thinking, how healing that can be. Thirdly, increase your inner emotional boundaries. That's very important because these inner boundaries have been so damaged growing up in a narcissistic home. Charles Whitfield is a good book, Boundaries and Relationships. I could recommend that to you. And then, of course, if you want to work on all of these, sign up for my New Road to Self, the online program, 6 modules, with a monthly group call live with me for a year. I want to thank you for watching. Have a great day and be wise.